That means the first, like, however long we've been going, it's going to be shitty. Because I'll steal it from YouTube. That's fine.
Right.
But,
Not as high a quality. That's right.
I hate my life sometimes. What's up?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I like this whole... Because what I've been trying to do...
Yeah, come January, it did pop off. It did start
Yeah, hardcore. It must have been like some kind of New Year's resolution or something. Do you remember making a New Year's resolution this year?
My New Year's resolution was to read one book a month, and that's how the book club thing came about. Is because it was January, and I was getting ready to finish John Adams, and I was like, I think that I want to read 12 books this year. Like, I think that I can read 12 books this year. Yeah. And so all in 10 minutes, I was like, oh, maybe I'll do a book club. I was like, oh, I can do this. I can get other people involved. I can do a live stream, and I can do this type of video. And that's when I called you, and I was like, I got this fucking great idea. And then, we're in November now, and I'm like, good Christ, what did I involve myself in fucking January?
I love it, dude. I love it. Because you're an idea, man.
Yeah.
You're the Salt of the Streets idea, man. Let's put it that way. Because I have a good idea to come up with ideas and not follow through on any of them.
They just explode sometimes. And I'm like, I have a whole new show we're going to do. And I just thought of the first 5 episodes.
Oh, my God. And I am here for it. Obviously, I'm here. But yeah, since things have shifted in my life lately, I've been trying to figure out how to be more productive with my life and all this stuff. Because I found myself falling into I don't know what I would call it at this point, but like a rut. I'm in a rut 100%.
Yeah.
And it's forced myself to uninstall the video games on my computer.
Productivity is definitely a discipline thing.
It is 100% a discipline thing, right?
That's a discipline.
Yeah,
that I will tell you.
Yes, I wreck a discipline sometimes.
Yeah.
And like this past week, like I fell off the clip game this past week because trying to deal with
the car and
it's a whole deal, man. Like when shit happens like that, it's not good. But
when you're an emotional guy,
apparently
it's all right.
I'm finding out that I am this deep emotional character.
It's good that you know
that. It's a thing I'm discovering. We'll put it that way. But I'm trying to find other avenues that will fit timelines and whatnot. It's like it's a whole deal.
It's tough.
Because I have this thing now where I feel like I need to get home at a certain time. Because I have fucking 4 animals at my goddamn house. I got all the goddamn animals. And I feel like a bad animal caretaker. Like a dog dad. I feel bad as a dog dad if I'm gone for 13 hours. I feel bad for because when I get home it's clusterfuck and a half.
It's chaos.
It's a whole deal. And then there's the whole you gotta pick up shit that obviously certain little ones have left and whatever. Little dogs don't have discipline. Chloe, she don't drop no bombs when I'm at home. She goes out before I leave home, and then she's
Big
good. She's
discipline.
She's like, Dad, I'm good. I'm not gonna fuck with you while you're gone. I know what you're doing. It's fine. But and then the cat, she's a psychopath. If I make a pit stop before I get home, it's this cat's. She's a psychopath for 2 days. It's bitch, I'm going to teach you to leave me alone for a little while by missing my feeding by an hour.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to find this new flow and shit. I've been incorporating some kettlebell workout things, which has been good.
That's good.
That's just this week has been new. And that's good. But also, I don't know, I need something else. I need something else in my life to go towards this thing. And we didn't make it work last night. B Jesus and we didn't connect like we're going to, but I'm hoping, I want to help him really. He's looking to launch a podcast and shit like that. Brandon Guerrero, shout out, homie.
Shout out,
he's been on the podcast before. I'm trying to I want to help him as much as I can.
Fuck yeah.
And at that point, I'm bro, if you need any post production, you need whatever, hook me up. I need purpose in life. Help me out. I will hook you up with whatever I can do. But it's been a whole deal, man. And then trying to deal with the car and shit.
Well, you should.
That's tough. But it's I'm on this quest to find a new thing. The Friday night live stream was great. It's been great. I continue to love it, and I want to keep doing it. But I'm I have this hankering.
Do you know something? Do you know something to consider?
Scratchy.
Something to consider would be to post some type of like a job opening on the internet for a podcast producer. Like, I'm a podcast producer. I'm just looking if there's anybody who needs a producer, who needs help. You know, 'cause people are doing podcasts all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
And if you say, you slide me $50, I will show up and I'll do your video recording for you.
Yep.
I'll edit it and I'll send it to you. And we'll call a day a day.
That would be a deal. I'm also trying to get Josh Keaton.
Depending on what they want, you know, if all they want is just an audio file, so I'll show up, I'll record everything for you, I'll cut it for you, I'll put on whatever music you want at the beginning, end.
I'll tell you how to set up a SoundCloud. We'll do the whole deal.
Yeah, you could even have an initial, like, this is my first fee. If you also want me to show you how to set up a SoundCloud, how to post all these items, how to do all this stuff, or you can pay $50 and I'll just show up, I'll record it, I'll send you an MP3 and you can post it onto wherever you want, and that's none of my business.
Word.
A one-time fee or like a, you know, consulting fee almost mixed with the, and that's just another thing that gets Salted Streets named out there if that's what you're looking to do. You know, also I co-host this podcast, so if you want to see any of my production that I've already done, you can go there. You can see some of the scripted videos that we've done, some of the live videos that we've done, so you can see the way that I've done all this stuff. If you like that,
I like that.
You can listen to the podcast here, so you can see whether or not you like the way that I edit things up. Check it out.
Yeah, no, I like that, especially because most of my editing is done on the fly.
Yeah,
like right now, it's called producer style. Yeah, I hit buttons.
Exactly. And if it's not your podcast, you'll be easier because you're just focused on what they're doing. You know. Yeah,
that's why like back in, I don't want to say the day, but like it's been a while since we did it. Like doing the book review show was always awesome. Like the review preview. Yeah. Like I just sit there in the background and then I just like, okay, I make notes. I'm like, all right, we're going to hit this. We're going to hit this. And then sometimes the sound effects come in. The cat just came in and was like, bitch, love me. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think that's a good tag. So we're going to, and I'm also going to push Josh Keaton. Josh Keaton, you're hearing me right now.
Because people will do evenings too. Most people who are starting a podcast are going to want to do evenings.
Yeah. And I really, really want to hear what Josh Keaton has to say about history because I need another history podcast.
I want to be on his podcast.
Oh,
I want to be on Josh Keaton's podcast to talk about whatever he wants.
He is a human being. Like I find some cool shit. He comes across my Twitter feed that has to do anything with history. I'm like, Josh, check this shit out, bro. He's great. What do you think about this?
Josh is great.
He's a good guy.
He was a great guest. He was a fantastic. I loved having him on
guest. Yeah. What? I was 49. Maybe something like that.
We're at 36, so
never mind. 29,
maybe 29. Might have been 29. It was a little while ago.
It was a little while ago.
So I think 29 sounds about right.
Yeah, that was a great episode.
Either way, Josh Keaton episode was great.
All right, enough of that shit.
Yeah, let's hit a grab back topic.
I've discussed my life enough.
We talked for a good amount of time. I like it.
We did. So this is something
at least most of what you didn't record was just our personal shit.
Exactly. Cat, you were killing me, dude. Every 30 seconds she's jumping up. So this is something I want to bring to your attention. Jesus Christ. Don't touch a fucking button, Cat.
The Stream Deck, Dad.
Don't. You're just going to sit on my mic. Come on, computer. Come on. All right, yeah, you just hang out there, sweetheart. This is something I wanted to bring to your attention, good sir. In our case, challenging the Washington State Standard Capacity Magazine ban, Sullivan versus Ferguson, King and Kitsap County had their motion for dismissal denied.
I love it.
It's not quite that simple as the Twitter post would indicate. So this is actually from FPC, the Firearms Policy Coalition, that is tracking all of these deals. But I
followed the shit out of these guys.
The actual judgment that came from the dismissal request. And it says King County defendants' motion to dismiss for lack of subject matter jurisdiction pursuant to federal rules of civil procedure, so and so, are denied. And additionally, for court denies the Kitsap County defendants' motions to dismiss for failure of state a claim upon which relief can be granted insofar as they apply to plaintiffs' ex parte Young claims for declaration and injunctive relief. Denied. And then they did grant the court grants the King and Kitsap County defendants motion to dismiss plaintiff's claim based on 42 U.S.C. 1983 for failure to sufficiently plead a Monell claim. So 2 out of 3 motions, or items in the motions for full dismissal of the magazine ban were dismissed, and one had to drop, which is, I guess that's probably fine because at least 2 of 3 are still going to go forward. And then we will, as it pertains to the magazine ban in Washington State, continue to go forward with this court case. I do not know what comes next, but
I think the state
it is still going to
or circuit court.
The circuit court.
Next, yeah.
Well, I mean, they haven't necessarily heard the case yet at this point because
right.
this is the motion for dismissal at this point. So they haven't necessarily even heard the case. So they're going to hear the case. I would imagine that comes next. I don't know if there's any more. I would imagine there might become, after dismissal generally comes after what we've learned over these past years with various court cases. This cat is very terrifying right now. I don't know if she's going to hit a button. Everything's going to die. But I think what comes next is discovery or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like comes next as a non-legal mind or whatever. But so it's going to continue to go forward. So the magazine ban case, as it pertains to Washington State, is going to continue to go forward. And hopefully one day we'll have more motion on this and we will come up with updates in the future. But you're just egging it on now is what you're doing. Don't fuck with her because she's a demon. She is a demon. Hi, sweetheart. How are you doing?
Yeah. What?
She's like, I'm on the computer. It's fine. Crazy ass cat. So yes, it is good. Your magazine ban. The challenge in court is going forward. They did not get fully dismissed on
hopefully,
standing or anything like. Because this is at the time they could have been like, yeah, your case is dismissed on standing. So.
Well, hopefully we'll go to actual court because of the way that Thomas.
It looks like we will.
Because of the way that Thomas just reinterpreted.
The New York thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as it having to have historical evidence for being done. And there's no historical evidence for limiting the amount of magazine or bullets that people can have when they're gun.
This is something I wanted to ask you about earlier this week because there was that kind of New York court thing where they were like, yeah, you can come out and you can carry your gun outside New York City, blah, blah, blah. But when it came to the COVID aspect of things, right? New York City just had this thing now in the New York court system. They were like, yeah, all those people you fired for not taking the COVID injection that the city said was mandatory, you have to hire back, right? Yeah. It turns out like you had to be a dude that actually filed on that court case to actually get your job back. So if you didn't join that case, you're still fucked, by the way.
Business.
I think it was only like 16 people. So
no,
that's a thing because that's been making its way.
I don't want to do with a class action lawsuit.
Exactly,
because you're a little bitch.
Because you're a bitch. But like that's been making its way around the internet lately.
If I get anything
as
for
like
class action, I fucking sign up for it.
Hard, yeah.
What if I get a check for like $700?
Amen.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
And if it's only for $12, I don't give a shit. It's $12.
If the lawyers involved are reaching out to you to be part of a class action lawsuit, they want you to join because they have they've deemed it legally plausible that you can get paid in this lawsuit.
Give me that money.
Period. So, that being said, we had talked last episode, I believe, about the Seattle Fire Department being essentially still fucked by the courts at this point. So everybody that's been touting this thing as like a major victory in the COVID regime, mandatory vaccine and all this stuff because the New York case got passed. And I'm like, motherfuckers, they just got fired in Seattle. They're still fired in Seattle because the court said no. I don't take this as a victory necessarily at all.
It's because people are assholes and they read a fucking headline and they're like, look, they're all going to get their jobs back.
Amen. Because they're not fucking paying attention.
A cursory glance to be like, well, actually, as we know, the corporate media will fucking deceive you at any chance they can get so they can get your click so that you will, even a retweet is good enough.
Yeah.
Even if you ignore Twitter's plea to be like, will you please, dear God, read this article before you share it? And he's like, no, I won't. I'm going to share it anyway.
Hashtag going to click anyways.
Don't
share
be
anyways. That's all she knows how to be.
Yeah,
is
you're
dick.
like asleep. Come on.
Oh, sweetheart. What you doing? What was you doing, sweetie boy? I wish I had a cat cam I could put right here.
Yeah. You can almost see her.
You can almost see her?
You can see like her tail,
Is this the tail? But yeah, so I am like hesitantly like positive about this New York case when it comes to the vaccine mandates. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. All our firefighters are still fired, so I don't give a shit. What
Bunch of cops. The Seattle Police Department is still fucked.
Yeah. all these people are still fucked. So like, yeah, you guys that are not really paying attention, take your fucking victory lap, because in this one niche case, yeah, you guys won, but now it's going to take an entire separate legal battle at this point to try to use New York State's case as precedent, and then carry that on. There's still going to be so many people that are still going to get fucked at the back end of this thing.
I do have to admit, and this is probably lost on you because you like lived in New York for so long. I hadn't been to Seattle in like 2 years probably, and so I think the distance from Seattle, made it easier to hate it. You know, because when I got over there, I was like, you know what, this is pretty incredible. Like the city itself, you know, I was like, this is like a feat of like human engineering, that there's all of these buildings in one thing. Like this is really pretty incredible, you know. And
also remember, like it burned down once and they built a new one on top of it.
Like the energy is cool. Like this, you know, like this is kind of cool.
It's a whole deal.
And then we were in the museum, and one of the first things you can do is walk through.
Oh, that's right. You went to the aquarium.
Yeah, or the aquarium. Yeah, it's in the museum. We went to the aquarium, and the first thing that you can do is like take a picture in front of a big banner thing, you know. And so we went up there, and they scan a little card that has a thing on it, so you can go and scan it and try and buy these pictures later. So after the guy did it,
I remember that
he put his hand out, and I was holding Dax for the picture, and I leaned Dax in to take this card from the guy, who of course was a multi-haired fucking double-earringed motherfucker, right? And
there were some gauges in there.
He doesn't even look at my son. He is completely turned away from him, puts his hand out to hand the card, and just drops it on the ground before Dax even has it in his hand. What? So I have to lean over and pick it up, and we walked away, and I said to Jordan, I said, and that's why I hate the city. That's it right there.
Yeah,
it's because
the
you aren't even a human
of the people
being.
that live there. Yes.
Not even a human being. I'm not from here. I live on the other side of the water. Maybe make it a positive experience. What if I don't live here? What if I came here by choice because this might be a fun day, and you can't even hand a fucking 3-year-old a card with a sea otter on it so that we can maybe buy a picture of our family later? You can't even look at us in the face. Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah, because fuck you anyways, because you don't live here, so fuck off. I don't care about you.
Yep, because I was wearing a Carhartt sweatshirt. You look like a piece of shit. Probably work a fucking blue-collar job, you piece of shit.
No, man, you look like John Fetterman, so I should support you.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
It's not good at all.
It's not good.
Oh, that's not good. Okay, have you been following Arizona's gubernatorial election?
There's wild things going on.
Arizona
is crazy right now.
Arizona is nuts.
Project Veritas is like, did you know that Katie Hobbs has a twin sister? We did. Like, what? Yeah, they're going crazy right now.
All I'm saying is that if I was James O'Keefe, my targets would be focused elsewhere most of the time.
Arizona's wild.
And now let me present to you.
A sheriff making people wear pink underwears and shit like that in the jail.
I thought that was Texas for a minute.
No, that was Arizona. That was Joe Arpaio when he was still the sheriff of Maricopa County.
Ooh.
And they had a tent city outdoors.
Yes.
Yep. And
I didn't know that was Joe Arpaio.
Yeah, he made all the inmates wear pink underwear. Yeah.
I mean, at that point,
they lived outside in Arizona.
That's hot.
Come on, bro. That's crazy, bro.
It's hot and
That's
cold.
crazy.
Well, these people are bad. They done broke the law.
Yep.
Yeah. How many of those people were like minor possession for marijuana? Fuck off, Cap.
Probably like a lot.
Exactly.
A lot of illegal immigrants who are under suspicion of being illegal.
He was that kind of tilt.
They had to pass a law when he was sheriff. Like, you can't arrest people for being suspicious.
Exactly.
That's not okay.
You can't do that.
You can't do that. You can't arrest someone just to find out whether or not they're a citizen. It doesn't work that way.
Call me a MAGA supporter. Fuck off.
He said, "You
fuck
fucking
Joe Arpaio.
You fucking right.
Yeah.
You bet your ass I can."
Amen. Okay, so let's go back to the
Katie Hobbs. Yes.
Katie Hobbs is running against Carrie Lake, and when
is she
asked,
a senator or something?
No.
Why do I know her name?
Katie Hobbs?
Yeah,
because she's running against Carrie Lake.
Oh, that's all.
And Carrie Lake used to be big in the local media in Arizona, but because she's the opponent of somebody that is it what the corporate press would say election denier, she's big news. But otherwise, she's just a well-funded.
She won, right? Like,
well, she
didn't question it, but she said we should make sure everything's legit.
We should make sure that everything is legit after the primaries. Yeah. That's what. Katie.
And she won. She's like, still, we should make sure that's legit.
And if you ask me, after watching this clip, she's about to be the goddamn governor of Arizona.
Oh no! Oh no!
When asked about because this clip has to take place during the when the CDC made recommendations that the new COVID vaccine that was only tested on like 8 mice, right, was like, oh yeah, you should give this to your kids. It was then asked to Katie Hobbs whether or not, because the CDC only makes guidance, right, whether or not the governor of the future governor of Arizona would make it mandatory for people in the state of government, kids in the state of Arizona, to take this as part of the standard you can go to public school regimen of vaccines. This was
They're going to do that shit here. You just wait.
This is it.
They're going to do it here is what I'm saying. You just wait.
Yeah, they will.
Oh, you just wait.
Hashtag homeschool.
Would you allow the COVID vaccine to go on the vaccine schedule for children to attend school?
Is that...
Sorry, so the CDC is
running for governor,
sort of moving toward adding the COVID vaccine to the recommendation for school vaccines. It's up to the states to actually decide what's on that list in their state. So, would your Department of Health Services put the COVID vaccine on the list of required vaccines for children in school?
That is not something I have contemplated, so yeah.
That's the possible future governor of the state of Arizona has no fucking clue what is going on with the new COVID vaccine.
That is not something
as
I've
it relies.
contemplated, she said?
Yes.
I've not even considered
AKA,
it.
she has no idea what this motherfucker's talking about. And then he goes on to try to well, this is what's happening. I don't know if you've been in the news lately or been following what's going on, but as future governor, you're going to have to make this call. What do you want to do? I haven't contemplated this at this time.
That's rough.
Whoa, dude. Whoa.
And it's not like it's a new issue. Maybe with the new booster it is, but not whether or not it will be required for schools, because that shit's already happening.
Yes, it is 100% happening.
I love running through your Twitter for the grab bag. I think it is just the greatest thing.
These are just the bookmarks I pulled up already.
I love it.
We haven't even... I love segment 4. Okay, so this is... We're going to rewind. This has to do with the Chinese Communist Party's meeting that just took place last week. Right? Rough business. And what we're about to see here is Xi Jinping's predecessor being ushered out of the Congress.
Hu Jintao,
yes. In full recognition, you got to remember that everything that is broadcast on Chinese state TV is 100% pre-planned, pre-staged. There's zero variabilities involved.
It's chosen by the state. It's curated by the state. 100%.
They would not put this on there if they did not want this to be seen.
It's not an accident.
No.
Yeah, is what you're saying.
So what we're about to see here is rather impressive.
That's Xi Jinping right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
And that's Hu Jintao.
Now watch. Pulls the documents away from
his paper.
And he says, "You're about to go fuck yourself." And he's just sitting there like, what's going on right now? No. It's very uncomfortable. They zoom in.
But actually, I'm just going to hold on to this.
I'm going to take these. You don't get to look at these documents.
The guy next to him is like, listen, don't even talk to him. He's like, just don't do it.
Xi Jinping just sits there. It's like, hey,
kind of looking over there.
Kind of.
Not really at them. Like, just kind of over in that direction.
Everybody else, eyes front, though. Eyes fucking front. This guy to the right of Xi Jinping, discipline, eyes front.
Yeah, this guy's like, wait, right, let me just...
I'm holding on to your folders here, bud. You don't need these. You don't need these. All right, let's get the aides in here. Let's hey.
He's like, you should just...
She goes,
take him out of here.
Just get him out of here. You don't need to see these documents here, all right? You don't need to see these. Just get her the fuck out of here, all right?
Very important. He doesn't see these documents. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't know Chinese. We're not reading his lips.
He's like, all right, it's all right. So here's these documents.
The guy's like, no, don't worry. He's like, I'm just going to hold on to it. I got it covered up. You can't see it anyway.
He's like, no, she said to do this. And the guy next to him like, bro. Just let them do what they're going to do.
Like,
ultimately, they cut, but the guy ends up grabbing the documents. And look at the face of this guy. Like, what the fuck over? And he like tries to pick him up. Bro. All right, we're gonna usher you out. She's like, yeah, man, yeah. All right, we're cool. He's like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
Like, no,
I
bro,
just
I'm
want
gonna
to
sit back down. Like, what's going on? This is insane.
We gotta go this way.
This is insane.
We gotta go this way. Have you seen this yet?
Not this whole thing.
I'm so excited.
This is insane.
The guy next to him, he's like, sit the fuck down. Sit down.
Oh my God. The only person with a conscience in the whole building.
Yes. Yep.
But this is so
like,
dark.
Can I get the documents? I just want
It's
to
like,
know.
nope,
You don't get the
don't
documents,
touch
bro.
it. You
You
get
need to
out.
go this way. You need to go this way.
He's like, I'm not going to go that way.
Yeah. Bro, this is the party I've built, motherfucker.
Bro.
And then they lead him out. How do you feel about that?
It's wild. It's wild because it's so subtle. You know, like no one's really talking. Like it's so subtle, but it's so wild when you know the context and you understand. If you just saw that video on Twitter, you'd be like, "This is why is there even a video of this?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on here?"
Yeah. And the
historical, the way that it reaches through history of like this. This is how the party deals with things. Like you're no longer of service. You're done now. You don't
Bye-bye.
Yes, not only are you done, right? You're publicly done. We're going to make sure that not only is everyone in this room going to see that you're done, everyone on television is going to see that you're done, everyone in the country is going to see that you're done, the whole world is going to see that you're done. We're going to ask you to leave, and if you don't get it, we will physically remove you from here in the politest way possible to show that we are civilized.
Yes.
You are the problem here, and that's why you are being removed. That is one of the craziest things I have seen, considering all of those aspects. You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
That's dark to watch.
And you got to remember too, like the CCP that did not happen by accident. It was filmed and broadcast on purpose. That was 100% pre-planned for that to take place so that everybody can see it plain as day. And we just saw it. That's the CCP in action. All right, up next, the glorious return.
That's why we always tell you to evaluate and adjust your relationship with the CCP.
That's right.
Because that is what they want in America.
That's right. I almost tweeted that, or not tweeted that. I almost super chatted that to the Timcast IRL last night.
Evaluate and adjust your relationship with the CCP. I think that's a good. It's very
it's
clean,
a good place to put it.
Evaluate and adjust your relationship with the CCP.
Nobody else does that.
Yeah.
Because it's not saying like, yeah, cut it all out, blah, blah, blah. Stop all your interaction, because you can't do that, obviously. That's unrealistic.
impossible.
No. Evaluate and adjust your relationship with the CCP, I think, is about as clean and clear as you can possibly get.
Be as simple as shoes, man.
Yeah.
Be as simple as shoes. Just don't buy Chinese-made shoes anymore.
Well,
I'm so jazzed to get
as complex as it is
That's
to
true.
not buy CCP-made shoes
I'm so excited
or
to get
CCP-sponsored shoes.
so excited to get those shoes. Colorado American-made shoes.
I mean, and let's be realistic about it. I mean, you go buy a pair of Vans, half the price of those.
yeah.
It is, you're paying double the price to buy 100% non-slave-made shoes. Good
That's
on
right.
you. I, on the other hand, will shout out Vietnam.
My shoes, I've been waiting because I couldn't
They
decide.
look good.
I've been
I'm
struggling.
excited.
No. I mean, the shoes that I've been wearing are damn near falling apart.
You wear
because I
multiple.
just couldn't.
You wear multiple shoes during the week.
I probably got 3 pairs of shoes
Yeah.
that I wear regularly.
Do you change them out during the day?
No,
No.
not during the day.
Okay.
I'll take them off during lunch. If I sit down in my truck or something, I'll take them off during lunch, and then put them back on before I get out of the truck.
I don't do every day, but I do some days.
Yeah.
I feel like I should do it every day.
Definitely, if I sit down in work to eat, I will absolutely take my shoes
Yeah.
off.
You don't got that stinky foot stank?
No,
Oh,
I did
yeah.
when I was like a teenager.
I got
you know?
sweaty feet, bro. I gotta keep that shit in the lock.
And they get pretty hot, but they don't get like stinky. You
Mm.
know, they get sweaty. The shoes will get stinky over time, but
Oh,
like
yeah.
my feet are not stinky.
I gotta, every brand new pair of shoes I buy, I gotta buy a brand new pair of like those smelly balls to put in them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because it's just a thing ever
Yeah.
since. That's just what's up biology. It's
Just
a bitch.
one of those things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a whole deal. So let's jump to this. We've talked about this before on the podcast, and this is a new. It's come yet again. We were once confronted with the possible strike of the railroad unions.
This
right?
is gonna suck.
And
Dude.
yes, it is.
This is gonna suck really
and it
bad.
was averted at one point, and there was a celebratory gathering, a gala,
Like a
if you
barbecue or
will,
something, right?
at the White House
was a whole
Rose
deal.
Garden to celebrate the passing of what we assumed was going to be. Come here, bud. Come on, bitch! Don't cheap out on me now. All you want to do is jump up on my
That's a
lap.
great beer.
Was it the Kolsch? The honey
Honey
Kolsch?
Kolsch.
The honey Kolsch is fire.
That's a great beer.
The honey Kolsch is fire.
I had last night.
I'm
okay,
really sad that it's gone now.
was expensive as balls. It was like $850 at fucking Silver City.
Yeah,
which
you went
I
to Silver
didn't
City last
know.
night. Congrats, by the way.
Thank you very much. But it was called like the big cone, I think, the whole cone. That's what it was. And it was an ESB.
Oh, I love an ESB.
It was fire. It was incredible.
Malty, glorious goodness.
Oh my God, it was good.
Just a hint of hops right on the backside. Yeah.
And it said something about like it's the whole hop, like they don't shell it or something like that. So
Why would they? They're bitches.
Dude.
I like Silver City a lot.
Dude.
For that reason.
That ESB, you got to get some of that ESB. You have to get some.
I don't know. I've become
so good.
I've become a beer club member at a new brewery, so
You have to get some.
I got a shield from my boys over at Echoes Brewing.
It's so good.
All right. Maybe on Friday I'll go over there.
It's so good.
So good.
It's so good.
Everybody's running out of Oktoberfest lately, so I can't.
We're getting close. It's
can't do
November
that.
now.
It's over
Almost,
at this point.
You know, 2 days is November.
I started following this girl who's she's American, living in like Indiana or some shit, and but she's from Munich originally, and so she does a lot of like German videos.
Okay.
And she did a whole thing on Oktoberfest the other day, and I've talked about this numerous times on the beer show, but like Oktoberfest, that's bullshit. Yeah. Oktoberfest kicks in spring. It's like the spring festival.
That's just what they call it,
kicks off in
right?
Munich. Yeah,
because it means something else.
Yeah, and by the time
October, right?
Yeah, and by the time October comes, that's like tail end at best. You know what I mean? It's stupid, but yeah. When I went to Echoes last weekend, when we were all there, that I got a growler of the Oktoberfest, and they were like, "Yeah, we're on our last keg, so it's gone." So when I go there on Sunday to watch football,
probably not going to be there.
Probably not going to be there.
I might see about coming to visit you. I might come down and visit you and then have Jordan bring the kids last time. The last time I went, there was chaos at the house as soon as I left.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, chaos ensued as soon as I left. And it was a rough day at the end of the day.
I need beer.
So,
can you grab a beer?
Yes.
You want to grab a beer? Thank you. Okay, I'm going to bring us into this story here. So, yeah. As we discussed earlier in past shows, there was that possible railway strike, and then it was averted because Joe Biden saved the day, blah, blah, blah. It's a bunch of bullshit. Because the proposal sent out to the rest of the rail unions was then it had to then be voted on by the rest of the unions and passed by all of them. And if they did not vote if all the unions did not vote to accept that contract, it was going to have to go back into negotiation. Lo and behold, we're sitting now, thank you very much, sir, at the second rail union denying the proposal that came from the Biden administration, the old Biden administration. And so we are, at this point now, it's almost a guarantee that if they do not somehow or other hammer out a new contract behind our backs and accept it, we're going to be looking at a rail strike
when?
On or about December. So let's just read this a little bit.
Just in time for Christmas.
Amen.
That's nice.
And that's the thing. So, second railway union voted on Wednesday against ratifying the tentative agreement brokered between the railway managers, unions, and members of President Joe Biden's administration. The move increases the possibility of a strike in November that would endanger the national supply chain if deal is not reached. The Brotherhood of Railway Signalmen, which represents over 6,000 workers in the United States, announced that its members voted to reject the tentative agreement, sending the union back to the bargaining table with management. In a statement, Union President Michael Baldwin, not of Alec Baldwin persuasion, notes that it's the first time the union has voted against the ratifying an agreement. Sick leave policies continue to be a center of talks. Unions agree current policies do not allow workers to take personal or sick time off, while the Presidential Emergency Board, the PEB, appointed by President Biden, negotiated increased wages. It did not address the leave policy. Quote, I have expressed my disappointment throughout the process in the lack of good faith bargaining, and Baldwin said in a statement. Additionally, the highest offices of each carrier, as well as their stockholders, seem to forget that the rank and file of their employees continued to perform their job each day through an unprecedented pandemic while the executives worked from home to keep their families safe, Baldwin said. So obviously, this is a twofer, right? This is a twofer. First of all, this is a twofer because this is the white collar cubicle dwelling executive that was able to work from home and to just have this cush life during pandemic coming to turn around and bite them in the ass while the actual worker was out there doing their fucking job the whole goddamn time, not getting any benefits, not doing anything else except having to come into work and do their goddamn job while everyone else was sitting at home doing absolutely fucking nothing.
That's right.
They're fucking extra pissed at this point. This is even worse than if this was like a standard negotiation because at this point, well, this member of the signalmen's union was at home. Their friends, their family, their immediate acquaintances were all at home, either working from home or getting fucking extended, what do you call that, unemployment insurance from the states, whatever, just sitting there cashing their checks while they sat there, drank beer, and played fucking video games, did nothing. These people had to get up and do their fucking back-breaking labor, go into work their fucked up schedules, do all this stuff because they signed up to do it. Well, everyone else sat at home, including all their fat cat bosses that got to sit there in their fucking houses and zoom into fucking meetings and make policy and do all this shit. They're fucking pissed that they did not get yes, they got a pay raise, but when it comes to like, I wake up in the morning, I'm a hardworking guy, but my back is fucking killing me. I got to take a day off. I got to lay up. I got to try to rest up so I can get back at it tomorrow.
My kids need to go to the doctor.
That's whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
When you need that fucking squish day, that like you and I can take that day if we need the day, we take the day. It's fine. In that fucking railway union, mind you, you're part of the union, so that's your own goddamn fault. You don't have that ability to do that, and that's part of their negotiations here. And the Biden administration, hashtag Pete Buttigieg, is technically in charge of that whole thing because he's Department of Transportation. Said kind of like, we don't care. We're gonna give you guys like a 25% pay raise. So just be happy and go back to work. Motherfucking unions. This is the second union that's not okay with that. So according to this NPR article, it could be as early as sometime in November that they might go on strike. But it looks as if at this point we might have some serious railway strike possibilities coming in our very, very near future. Yeah, that's going to make our already troubled economy even fucking worse. Hashtag welcome to Christmas.
Hashtag welcome to Christmas.
That's where we're at, bro.
I like it.
That's what
I'm calling
I like
this
it because
episode.
it's so dark.
I'm tweeting it right now. That's what I'm calling this episode.
Hashtag welcome to Christmas, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see here. What else do we got coming up on the old agenda here? Biden falls asleep. That's fun. Did we talk about this at all? I don't remember if we talked about this on the podcast at all. There's a local story I forgot to hit because it's awesome. But
all right. Let's hear it.
Okay, so really, really quick, let's hit this one. I don't know how much time we have left.
Did you
But
see the Japanese guy that fought off the bear too?
I saw a guy fight off a bear on the side of a rock.
Yeah, so he was
Japanese.
Japanese.
He was Japanese?
He's a Japanese guy. Yeah, he's climbing up like that.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Bear comes in fucking nowhere.
And the visceral.
Yes.
Ah!
Yes. Yes.
Ah!
Yes.
Like the whole thing.
Punching it and kicking it and shit. It's crazy.
Trying.
Yeah,
would have been better if he had a gun, by the way.
That's why he doesn't have a gun, because he's in fucking Japan.
Also, I wouldn't have put it past it to be some fucking hiker in California.
No,
but
it was in Japan.
Okay, that makes sense. But this particular case rubs me super fucking raw because we had a particular attack of a black bear in Washington State.
Someone attacked a black bear?
No, nobody attacked a black bear. A black bear attacked a human being in Chelan County, of all places. Yeah, somewhere that we might frequent. Well, some of us frequent. I'm there relatively a lot because I also do a lot of hunting in the same area.
Relatively a lot.
I do. I do a lot of hunting in the same area. But yeah, somebody was on a fucking trail Here, I'll just read the fucking story for a minute. Let's just do this, and then I will go off because our state is filled with just a bunch of fucking idiots. A Washington State woman left her home to let her dog out early Saturday morning.
These are always the ones that get fucked up too.
Yeah. No, if you're a woke-ass liberal fucking wine mom sitting at home and all of a sudden the state asks you to vote whether or not people should hunt bears and you say no, this is your fucking story. You're an idiot.
This could be you.
When you think bears are Yogi Bear and fucking Teddy Ruxpin, not true.
Yeah.
Meet a bear out in the wild.
Yeah, that's not going to be me. I'll shoot a bear in the face. Exactly. Let's go.
So we ended up fending off an attack from the black bear. The woman who sustained non-life-threatening injuries punched the bear right in the nose, end quote, which led to it running away, according to one official who spoke to local TV station King 5.
That seems to get him, too.
Yeah, that's assuming that it doesn't eat you first. That's fine.
Like most of the videos that
you punch it in the nose, it's not interested, yeah.
Yeah, like that dude, the guy on the mountain, he kicked that bear right in its stupid nose, and it was like, oh, fuck.
Yes, 100%. Yes. We're extremely thankful that the victim has received medical care for this unfortunate encounter. Captain Mike Jewell of the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife said in a press release, public safety is our priority. Our officers and staff were quick to mobilize to locate the animal and secure the scene. The attack occurred near Enchantment Park.
They put tape around her house. It's secure.
No, what the worst thing is, they hunted that goddamn bear down. They killed it. And then when there was 2 cubs associated, they had to take the cubs and then release them later on.
Oh, no.
Yes.
That's why the bear attacked, is because there was babies just hiding
yes.
somewhere. God.
Because people are fucking stupid. The attack occurred near Enchantment Park and Blackbird Island in Chelan County, about 75 miles east of Seattle. The woman is being treated at the Wenatchee Hospital, according to Washington State Fish and Wildlife.
Ooh, so she got fucked up then.
She's fucking fine.
Non-life-threatening.
Yeah. The wild black bear attacks are rare. They aren't unheard of. Since 1970, 19 other human black bear encounters have led to injuries, according to Washington State authorities. In 1974, a black bear attack led to someone's death. So we're reaching back to the 70s. This is how we're doing. Wildlife officers.
Cougars statistically are like more of a threat than black bears, right?
Yes. Okay. So regardless,
right?
Let's just take it from here because I want to go off.
You said that it had 2 babies, right?
It had 2 babies.
Doesn't matter, but the bear had 2 babies, and they had to then take the babies.
They had
somewhere.
to take the babies, and they released them because they weren't because this was the boar. No, it was sow at this point. But the babies were old enough at that point.
Some teenage cubs.
They could let them go and they'd be fine.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
They weren't babies. They were.
The reason this thing rubbed me fucking raw was because you remember what happened this year. I think I talked about it on the podcast at one point. But this was the first year where we were not allowed to participate in the spring black bear hunt. And because there are so many black bears in our own state, they are starting to work their way in more and more into everyday suburban societies because black bears can live in small patches of woods. You'd be very surprised.
Because they're not that big, right? Like comparatively to grizzly bears and stuff?
It depends, but yeah.
Generally, they're smaller than a grizzly bear.
Yeah. Grizzly bears are giant. You see a brown bear out in the wild, and you will question whether or not you should even exist on this planet because obviously there is a peak predator right there, and I'm not it. Ask the grizzly man that. He got eaten in his tent.
That was a great movie.
It's dark. It's super dark. Because if you think that that's possible, you know what the moral of the story is? The moral of the story of Grizzly Man is if you think that you can be this like eco-loving hippie and coexist with nature on a 100% level, the end result is you get eaten by bears.
Yeah, that's not good.
Done. That's how that works, man. Bears are not... Okay.
Bears don't give a fuck about you.
Bears do not give a fuck of you. Yes, bears do not give a fuck about you. Bears exist on this planet. They are not a fucking teddy bear that your child cuddles at night to go to sleep. Bears exist to eat, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Eat and fuck, and that's about it. And when you're out in the woods, there are more black bear attacks on people in the woods than there are grizzly attacks on people in the woods. Why? Because there's more black bears than grizzlies. Let's put it that way. Because there are so many black bears out there because people have anthropomorphized them such.
Yes.
I'm surprised I was able to pull that off. Boom. That, I mean, that's people think that bears are just these things. Bears are fucking wild goddamn animals that would not care whether or not they ate you or not.
Right.
If they are hungry, you know what they're going to do? They're going to try to fucking eat you. And if you spend any time out in the woods, that is the one thing I would suggest to you is not to think that this goddamn little fucking black bear that's going to come up, it's going to be all cute and cuddly and you're going to have a good little snuggle time at night in your tent. No. What's going to happen is either they're going to try to eat you, they're going to run away. For one, they're probably not going to come near you. But if they are going to come near you, you need to start figuring out what the fuck's going on. Because if a bear in an area where there are regular human occupancy, if a bear comes near you, you need to realize that bear understands what you are.
Right.
What that bear understands you to be is possible food. That's what that bear understands you to be.
And sometimes they just go places. Like we had a bear.
They're like coyotes.
We had a bear.
They eat a lot of just whatever.
At our elementary school at Brownsville. You know, in Brownsville, it's in a bunch of neighborhoods. Like, it's not like it's an unpopulated area, but it's by the water.
Lots of woods,
Yeah,
too.
it's just by the water. So there was a bear that was in like the elementary school playground. And so we all, had to sit inside and make sure no one went outside because you might get attacked by a bear. But they just show up places, They just show up in random places and there isn't really anything that you can do about it. And if they get scared...
Except kill them.
Right.
You could do that.
And if they get... But I mean, if it's in a fucking schoolyard, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Kill it.
They waited for it to go. No one came in and shot it. They waited for it to go. I don't think the first thing is we'll just gun it down.
I mean, if I saw a bear, the first thing that would be on my mind is let's kill that.
But that's not what they did. When they called the cops, I don't think if a cop shows up, the first thing is not like, let's just gun it down.
Let's just make sure it's not mauling a small child.
Let's wait and see if it's just going to go. Because if it's just going to go, we don't need to worry about it. We don't need to waste the ammunition, and we don't need to worry about it. We don't need to file the paperwork for having to discharge our gun even at a bear. They'll wait.
Yeah, welcome to Washington State.
Yeah.
I've dealt with a lot of cops over the last couple
being
weeks.
said, like I said, I don't go into the woods without this fucking big ass gun on my head.
Exactly.
I'm not. You got me fucked up thinking that I'm going to be caught dead by a cougar or a bear and not being able to defend myself.
Yeah, the minute you meet a cougar in the woods, you need to shoot that thing.
Yeah.
Because it's going to kill you.
The guy
it is not interested in how you're doing that day, and you're not going to give it some scratches along its spine and it's going to purr and everything's going to be good. No, it's going to try to kill you.
I've seen a ton of videos of people be like in encounters with cougars and they walk backwards a lot and like take video of the cougar. I'm shooting that thing way before that.
Yeah.
Way before that.
The difference between you and them is you have a gun.
If it's walking... No, even people with guns.
Well,
they've shot
that recent video.
Afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That recent video of that stupid fucking guy, he was a hunter. I think he was a bow hunter, if I recall. And he had a pistol on him. And he was... I wonder if I might have that video.
I'm shooting that thing way before
100,000 fucking percent. I watched that video and was like, bro, you could have killed that thing 100 times over by the time you...
with that.
Fuck no.
No, I'm not chancing
that thing is going to try to eat you.
It's way faster than you, too.
100%?
Way faster.
100%.
Yeah, so I'm not dealing with that.
I seen this cat, man. She goes nuts, man. Just this little house cat. She'd be chilling. And all of a sudden she gets like some wild fucking burr up her ass. And then bam! And she's like jumping on fucking 6 different walls in the house. I'm like... I don't know, man. No. Fuck all that noise. But this would not be a goddamn problem if Washington State and their woke ass fucking... If they're in the realms of fish and wildlife, hunting game, whatever it is in your state at that point. In our version, it's fish and wildlife. They decided that it was not... in the best interest of hunters in Washington State to be able to hunt the spring black bear hunt as per is the usual deal in our state. Why? Because people that are so anthropomorphized when it comes to bears decided that it was too cruel to hunt bears during springtime. You know what the end goal of that is? People getting fucking hunted by black bears in their fucking backyard when they go out to take their dog out to take a piss. Well, that is exactly what happens. Around here, I saw a fucking black bear a few weeks ago that I was driving home, sun was coming out. It was a cool deal. It was like this fucking crazy ass like Sasquatch silhouette thing. The giant ass fucking black bear brambled across the fucking road, silhouetted by the sunsetting sun. And it was a gorgeous deal. But it fucking kind of freaked me out because that was the biggest black bear I ever seen. It just ran across the road and went back into the woods. Right next to my house. There is nothing but trails back here, man. And these fucking Ukraine-loving hippies that live in my town are going back there, running these trails.
Row the vote.
Row the vote is a campaign sign I see on the regular in my neighborhood. Are not carrying a fucking firearm while they're running through these trails in the woods. And you know that all that's got to happen is that black bear's got to be hungry. And then he's going to decide to attack and maul somebody. That's all that's going to happen. And somebody's going to die. Yes. And it ain't going to be the bear. We'll put it that way.
And then the state is going to start paying people to hunt the bears instead of allowing citizens to pay to hunt the bears.
Yes. And this is what happened
pay more than
with
the
this
cost of a bear
specific
tag.
story. With this specific story, Fish and Wildlife went out, shot the bear, released the cubs that were along with it.
They shot the bear, huh?
They shot and killed the bear because obviously it's at that point once the bear has, if they're sniffing humans like your food, you got to kill that thing because they're going to keep getting after you.
Okay.
But and they're gone at that point. The bear's gone, but then that bear is not utilized at that point. There's no meat being distributed.
They just leave it there?
It's gone. No. I mean, they'll take it and they'll dispose of it.
I think they just burn it or something. What do you think they do with it?
Yeah, they just they do it like they do like a the cremation. They put it in a fucking thing and they just ash it up and bye bye.
I wonder if there was a guy who worked for the wildlife department, if he was like, well, I'll take it, if they would let him do it. Or if they're like, no, we have to burn it.
Considering currently who's at the head of Fish and Wildlife at this point, there's no way that's happening. No, she's some woke ass motherfucker from Seattle. There's no way that's happening in our current in states like Alaska. That happens a lot. Like if there's like a rogue grizz because something happens, or there's a rogue moose, because moose also are very, very dangerous.
Yeah, wild, right? That's
super
crazy.
Wild. It's a fucking aggressive horse, is what that is, with a bunch of headgear that will fuck your life up. Amen. Yeah, and that will come in and it will fuck your world up.
Satellite.
It'll destroy your car. Yeah. We'll put it that way. A lot of times they have like programs set up so that they can distribute like the meat to like various indigenous tribes. But if you live in like a town near that, you're not going to get that unless you're part of like the indigenous tribe. But yeah, they have that shit on lock a little bit in Alaska, but around here, no, that thing's just going to the cremation. They don't care about that.
The state is terrible.
Amen. The state is terrible and they have no idea what they're doing. So, okay, let's take a perusal. How are we doing? 6:45? Are you good for one more? I don't know. Let's, I don't know where you're at. You got kids, bro. I don't got kids. So I'm here all night.
Yeah. No,
let's
what do you got?
Oh, we got that Ukrainian fucking drone footage.
Let's see it
from the boat.
Let's see it. Let's see this. We'll do this the last one.
Let's do this. All right.
So this is from a UUV, right? That's in the water.
Yeah, and they put some dramatic music to it.
UUV is an unmanned underwater vehicle.
Yeah. And so this is attacking a Russian ship in Sevastopol, in the port of Sevastopol in Ukraine.
And that's what this is, right? Is a UUV?
This is a UUV. It's a little speedboat looking thing.
And now it's
black
getting shot at. That's what the flashes are?
Yeah. Is that... I don't remember if this is the video or not, because they show like another one later on. Oh, no, there's another video out there. We can find it.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, here it is.
Yes.
This is the one. This is it. It rolls in hard, dude. And there's obviously it's being shot at
by
the ship over there.
Yeah. So I'm going to go over here.
Yeah. And some of this shit gets wild for a minute, man. It gets close. And I'm very surprised how close this thing gets.
Oh, yeah. You can see the flashes from the boat.
On that boat, bro, you are just hoping that this thing don't get near you. And what freaks me out is the fact that the landscape changed so much. So there's a Russian helicopter flying around,
shots
shooting
at
at that thing.
Wow.
Yeah. And it kind of freaks me out because obviously there's a lot of time lapse going on here because it started in the relative dark, right? And obviously it gets close. Boom!
Ooh.
Tatted up, dude, and just keeps rolling. It's going in. But it's like fucking around. It's like hanging out, which I don't understand. Because if you're going to do this thing World War II PT boat style, You just go in and damn the consequences. See, then it's getting shot at big munitions from the ship.
Yeah, it's from the boat.
Yeah, this one, it was weird. It flows right by this fucking little boat.
Wow.
I don't know what that's all about. And then eventually, up in the right-hand corner, you could see, this is actually a picture from downtown Sevastopol. You'll see in a second here an explosion off in the upper right where it actually detonates.
Wow. Boom. That's the UUV that explodes?
Yes.
And that's it's
supposedly
supposed to be Ukrainian?
Yeah. Yes. Supposedly that is a Ukrainian
what the fuck
drone boat that gets blown up. And that's a whole deal. But obviously I didn't see another ship there.
I've been saying, isn't that wild?
Yeah, and if you guys remember, this was
a
ship that came
like
up
2 or 3 episodes ago.
And if you look at it, it looks like the exact same goddamn thing, doesn't it? Right in the front, because we saw the front end of that UUV.
Yeah, and they were like, one of these washed up on the shore, but we don't know if it's real or not.
And this was during the time of the pipeline explosion, if we remember right. This was shared on Twitter the same time as the explosion of the Nord Stream 2 pipeline.
This is so planted, bro.
So
that's
what I'm saying.
So planted.
Yeah, and for them to
share the
same exact one
shit, do you think it's fully possible? I'm going to throw out a conspiracy theory.
Do it.
Okay, so it's fully possible
because
the Russians have the capability to take one of those vehicles over, right? If they're able to scramble the communications and take one of those vehicles, or even just capture it, right? Just get out of the water somehow, plant it somewhere after they have exploded this pipeline, right? Blow it up, blow the pipeline up themselves, then plant that thing off the shore of Ukraine somewhere. Let it wash up even, because you just go out there and just let it wash up. You fuck up the robotics on the inside.
So the Russians explode the pipeline, and then they let the drone
UUV float up
okay.
onto land on the Ukraine. Everyone's like, yo, this is wild. What is this piece of machinery? Because we don't know yet. Couple of weeks later, now this video is out that whoever it is releases it. It's got to be the Ukrainians, or maybe the Russians. Maybe they intercept the video feed from it and they release it themselves, right? They're blowing it up.
Who did it? The Russians?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I told you when I first heard it.
Conspiracy theory.
I told you well, that's in that conspiracy theory. Yes, the Russians did it. They blew up the pipeline and they released all the video footage to show it's the Ukrainians, because look at this technology they have. And right after the pipeline exploded, we saw one of these things wash up on shore. And I told you when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, totally, the Russians did it. Now I'm like, well, we probably did it because that makes more sense. But at the time, I assumed the Russians did. But if there's an ulterior motive to them doing it, if they were able to capture one of the UUVs and they just had it, and they're like, what are we going to do with it?
The only
Let's blow up
way
the pipeline and we'll let this wash ashore. I don't know. Yeah. Like, it just came up with that off the top of my head, off top of mind. I don't know.
Off top of my head. Fucking do that to me, Jesus Christ, Jean-Pierre. The only way I could see that possible, right, is given Putin's recent statements, where he said, our whole goal here was essentially to dissolve the Western power at that point, to make it weak enough that the rest of the multipolar powers of the world could rise to the top. It's the only way I could envision that as being part of that scheme, where you blow up the pipeline, you put a Ukrainian drone on the beach to make it look like, the West is trying to do this because whatever, but also nobody gives a fuck because the West is a bunch of jokes. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's all fucked up.
It's just off the top of my head. I don't know.
I get it. It's off the top of mind. So
I'm just trying to connect things,
Where's my strings?
Let's attach exactly. Shit. It's like Charlie, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's just all the Pepe Sylvia. I don't know if you ever watched It's Always Sunny.
I haven't seen that episode.
I did enough of those fucking quotes in the first year and a half of the show.
A long time. That was a good deal for a while.
It was a good run.
It was a good run, bro.
Good run.
It was a good run.
Yeah.
So
thought for sure we would be famous before that was over.
I know. It's a whole deal, bro. Welcome to the internet.
Yeah.
I went down the fucking Rumble last night, and like half their fucking site was down. It was like a whole deal, because Rumble's whole deal is like they're all about like the hardware aspect of things. They're like servers. And so they're kind of reliant on, like, I think that's why they teamed up with Locals, is to bring some more software side to things.
Okay.
And I'm hoping maybe in the future Twitter might also do a little something. Elon might get together with some Rumbles, because if there's one, Twitter is out of date as far as social media is. Twitter is out of date. It doesn't have a video platform. It's tried multiple times.
Periscope and
stuff. It had Vine. It had Periscope. All of which it's dropped. If there's one thing Twitter needs, did it better. Well, Meta did it better because TikTok did it better. TikTok came in. TikTok's destroying most of social media right now.
Yeah.
Because that's like the thing. Their algorithm is better. I mean, they know how to teach their own citizens how to be better people, and they also know how to destroy America. That's TikTok. Their algorithm is on fucking point. But if Twitter can figure out how to do like a short form video deal and incorporate live video again, they might be marketable in the world of social media at this point. Because at the end of the day, the only people that are hanging on Twitter are like old ass fucking millennials like me. And that's it. But it's not relevant other than that. So they need to get with the program. But if they can incorporate something like that, we'd be there. But Rumble is still rough around the edges because they're hardware focused, not software focused. And if they need somebody to come in that's software focused and bring that shit in and incorporate it all together to make one mean machine. I don't know if we'll see that, but right now the software aspect of Rumble is still stupid.
Yeah.
I watched the guy last night. He was trying to live stream on Rumble and YouTube.
That
and Rumble was just fucking down.
That platform sucks.
It does. But their hardware aspect of the game, like trying to make software or like server space available for people to do that.
Amazon side of it.
They're doing good on that realm. So I don't want to cast too much shade. They're just trying to do too much, I think. So we need some combo action. We'll see what happens, but I don't know. You never know. We never know.
I like it.
So your beer's almost done, good sir.
Yep.
Let's do a cheers. You're down the last of your beer, and we'll end the episode.
I love you.
It's been fantastic. I love you too, buddy.
I love you guys.
Thank you for hanging out, everybody. It's been real.
Have a great weekend.
Where's my mouse?
Oh.
Welcome to the salt of the streets, coming at you every week with this food for thought. Hope you ready to